Welcome to Basketball Excellence, where we talk about NBA daily news, games, and stories. So if you happen to enjoy any content here, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe for me to support your boy. I'm your host and your boy, JJ. Now let's talk about some basketball and get the teams out there that I think are championship contenders and their biggest flaw and what they need to do to fix everything to win it all. This is in no order at all, so let's get straight to it. The Los Angeles Lakers come into the 2021 season as defending champs, and they have been asserting their dominance, to say the least, throughout this league moving forward. Until about a few weeks ago, whenever they lost Anthony Davis to his calf injury. And their biggest problem right now, I would have to say, is just Anthony Davis not being on the floor. I mean, they're a great defensive team, they're a great offensive team, but the proof is in the pudding whenever they lost Anthony Davis, and it shows a lot. The role players, they really don't equate enough to the void that Anthony Davis had left, and it shows a lot. So if they can get him back in the lineup, get him back healthy, I think that would be great for them. But if they can't figure that out, I think that's their biggest problem moving forward. Not only now, but in the playoffs. And in the playoffs, I don't think LeBron won't be able to carry a whole team to the finals as he did before, because of his age and because of the stage that he is at in his career. So hopefully we can get Anthony Davis back, and if that happens, then it's a fair game and they can win the championship again. I mean, they are the favorites still at this moment in time, so who knows? The Brooklyn Nets came into this year with something to prove and went all in to the idea of winning now as they did in 2013. But it's a little bit different now. At the forefront, you got KD, who's been playing at an MVP level whenever he's been able to play, coming off an Achilles injury. Then you got Kyrie Irving, he's playing out of his mind. And then you got James Harden just doing James Harden things. And they're all averaging above 25 points, which is completely ridiculous. But the glaring issue here is their defense and rebounding. But at the same token, I think Shaq said it best whenever he was talking about this team winning it all. And he said that they don't have to be an ultra defensive team. They just have to get defensive stops when it matters. And I couldn't agree with that statement more. This team is stacked offensively, and with every offensive firepower that they have, they could win the championship for sure. So as long as they get those defensive stops when it matters, they'll be able to win. Now for our third team, we're going to talk about the LA Clippers. The LA Clippers, they're third in the stacked Western Conference and pride themselves on defense. They're a team in LA that are trying to change the narrative as far as for what happened last year whenever they were upset by the Nuggets. In order for this team to win a championship, they have to exemplify the same consistency that they do during the regular season. Don't get me wrong, they're pretty good around the boards on offense and defense. But man, whenever it comes to the playoffs, it just wasn't their time last year. And it showed. They just have to be consistent, especially playoff P and a little bit of Kawhi too. They both shrunk in those moments, and you can't have that on a big stage like that. And they all owe us that series that they were supposed to do between them and the Lakers. So hopefully we get to see that this year. But if they're able to figure out that consistency issue, I don't see why this isn't the team to beat and the team to probably win the championship. Now let's segue into the Milwaukee Bucks. This is my favorite team other than the Lakers right now, and they're third in the East. And by all means, they're a great team. Giannis is averaging 29, 11, and 5. He's been phenomenal. Chris Middleton, he's been doing great. He's averaging 20 on great efficiency. And the same could be said for Drew Holiday as well. And they also have great role players that have been doing pretty good this year as well. But their only problem is that they don't really have a solidified guard. And whenever they don't have that solidified guard, they're inconsistent. As you can see with the 10 games that Drew Holiday was out, they struggled and they were very inconsistent with their play. And if they're able to figure out what's going on with that guard spot and put another player next to Giannis that is a great guard that can either just facilitate the offense, score, or just be a playmaking master, I don't see why this team wouldn't be able to go further than what they've been going the last few years. But other than that, that's the only gripe I have with the Milwaukee Bucks. The Utah Jazz, they're turning a lot of heads with their play this year, and Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert coming to their own as a solidified duo. And they've been meaning business this year. And let's not forget about the role players. Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Bojan Bogdanovic, Joe Ingles. I mean, they're all important to what the Jazz are trying to complete and accomplish this year. The Jazz also have the 3rd best defense right now, the 15th best offense, which isn't too shabby. The only problem I have to say with this team is that they could possibly end up with the same fate as the 2015 Hawks. And that could be very disappointing because they're first in the Western Conference right now. And all I would have to say for them is just really keep the same consistency. If they could keep the same consistent play throughout the playoffs that they did the regular season, they should be able to win. This is a great team, top to bottom, great role players, great stars, and let's see what they do this year. The last team we're going to talk about are the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, Philly, they've been on a tear, and it's because of the MVP year Embiid is having and their defensive clinic as a team. It also has them ranked 6th in that category. They have great pieces including Seth Curry, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, and Shake Milton. They're first in the East and they're playing their best basketball right now. But the biggest issue remains to be Ben Simmons. What I mean by Ben Simmons is just that he's a black hole on offense. Elite defender, great defender, but he's a black hole on offense, and if the 76ers aren't able to address that during the playoffs, they can kiss the Eastern Conference Finals and the Finals goodbye. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. I appreciate you taking out the time of your day to watch my content. Until next time, have a blessed day, and your boy JJ is out. See y'all. Now they are to say congratulations.